What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here at Chris's MMA Universe. And for this video, I want to talk about the aftermath of UFC 239. And, I gave it a little while for everything to just sink in to all the fans that watched it last night. And this was an amazing card. I mean, it was great on paper, and all the fights definitely delivered. So I'm just going to go down the list here, just talk a little bit about each fight. And I'm going to start with Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos. The fight that they had, I mean, I think Thiago Santos did a lot better than most people give him credit for. I mean, he was a huge underdog going into this fight. And Jon Jones didn't really give the best performance. I mean, I think he even said that himself. And, it was a split decision. I don't actually remember any of Jon Jones's fight ever being a split decision when he won by decision. So, Thiago Santos definitely gave him one of his hardest fights. I mean, if Thiago Santos didn't pop his knee, and I think it was about round 2, where it looked like he ended up tearing his ACL. I mean, I really don't know how bad the injury is. But he definitely hurt his knee in that fight, early in the fight, about round 2. And I don't think it affected him. Well, at least he wasn't allowing it to affect him too much. He was, still giving everything he had, still going towards Jones, wasn't backing down. He didn't lay down and die or anything like that. Like, he was still taking it to Jon Jones. And I think if his knee did not get injured in that fight, I do believe Thiago Santos would have done a lot better. I mean, I think that pretty much goes without saying. But he possibly could have also won the fight. And I only say that because a lot of people think he did win that fight. I do not believe he did. I think they gave the fight to the right fight. I think they actually judged it correctly. I think Jon Jones definitely won that fight. I believe it was about, I think it was about 4 rounds to 1, Jon Jones. And yeah, I mean, Jon Jones definitely won the fight, I think, in every area. It's just that Santos, like I said, if he didn't get injured, I do believe Santos would have possibly been able to, get his hand raised. I mean, it's just that, he hurt his knee. And like I said, I mean, Jon Jones definitely won it. But a lot of people were saying that Thiago did. I don't see how they saw that exactly. I mean, they were saying like it was like 3 rounds to 2 going in Thiago's favor. And I really do not believe so. Jon Jones definitely did what he needed to do, and he was playing it safe. Jon Jones actually said that himself in the post-fight, and, he was just playing it safe. He just wanted to make sure, to get this win. And but he was also saying that he was very proud of himself because he beat Thiago at his own game. He beat Thiago where Thiago's comfortable. And I just thought that fight was amazing in every way. I mean, I was on my feet the entire time watching that fight. And, I mean, Thiago brought extraordinary power towards Jon Jones. And Jon Jones said it himself that Thiago was the strongest fighter he's ever fought, like the most powerful fighter that he's ever fought. And he's hoping to give him a rematch. I mean, he just said he's hoping for Thiago to climb his way back up the ladder and, get some wins. And then he's really hoping to fight him again. And he's saying that his tactics will definitely change. So that fight was amazing. But let's go to Amanda Nunez versus Holm. That fight was insane. I mean, it was pretty much just one-sided, right? I mean, Amanda Nunez was in there knowing she was going to win. And honestly, I had a feeling that she was. I didn't see Holm winning in any way of this fight. I mean, of course, no disrespect to Holm at all. Tremendous fighter, former champion. The first one to beat Ronda Rousey. And, she went in there definitely on a mission. And she could have won. I'm not saying that there was no way, shape, or form But Amanda Nunez just wasn't going to allow it. I mean, she went in there and beat Holly Holm the same way Holly Holm beat Bethe Correia, pretty much, right? Like, where Holly Holm caught her with the head kick, Bethe Correia sat on her ass, and then got knocked out with one of Holly Holm's punches. And it looks like the same exact thing happened what Amanda Nunez did to her. It looked like the same thing happened to Holly Holm by Amanda Nunez. And, I mean, it was something crazy to see, because for Amanda Nunez to knock Holly Holm out at her own trick, I'm going to call it. I mean, you know, of course, everybody has head kicks in the game, but I'm just saying, you know, just in this sport, to see something like that happen is pretty amazing. I mean, for Amanda Nunez to catch Holly Holm with pretty much her own head kick and dropped her, I mean, it was something else. You know, I believe Amanda Nunez caught her with a right head kick, but the whole point is that it's a head kick, and then, you know, she ended up knocking her out right after that. But the head kick definitely rocked her hard, and that was it. You know, then Amanda Nunez caught her with her bombs, and you know, with some punches to the face, and it you know, that was a wrap. It was over. But, you know, all respect to Holly Holm. She went in there, you know, her being so courageous, going in there to fight anybody that is willing to fight. And, you know, it was great. But, you know, hats off to Amanda Nunez. She got it done. And really, that was the only notable name that Amanda Nunez needed to beat in order to close the book on being the GOAT woman fighter in MMA history. I mean, she beat a champion in Holly Holm. And, you know, she definitely deserves that title of being the best women's fighter in MMA history, Amanda Nunez. So that fight was amazing, but let's go to the fight that a lot of people were really excited to see, and this was Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. And that was insane. Jorge made history. There's not much to say about that fight. It was over in 5 seconds, but Ben Askren was knocked out in about 2 seconds. I mean, it just took Jorge the time to run across the octagon to hit Ben. And then that was it. Askren was out. And, you know, that knee KO'd him. And then Jorge dropped 2 bombs of right hooks on his face just before the referee stepped in. And Jorge was actually saying he was hoping that the referee tripped on his way to stop it so he could just give him one more. He felt like he deserved one more. And he said that, you know, he envisioned it. He knew it was going to happen. I believe I said in my prediction video for this UFC that Jorge Masvidal was going to give him his first loss. I do believe that was going to happen. I did not expect for that to happen the way it did. I did not expect for this to be the new fastest knockout in MMA history. I mean, the fastest fight in MMA history, at least in UFC history. And for it to be five seconds long, excuse me, you know, I can't believe it. It was, I mean, my jaw dropped, even though I wanted Jorge to win. I just felt like I kind of wanted to see him get it done. But at the same time, you know, I just wanted to see a great fight. But, you know, this thing was just something that I just think I'm very proud of Jorge. You know, not so much that I wanted him to get it done like I don't like Ben Askren, because I do like Ben Askren. But it's just that it was something special to see, you know, and the fact that he was able to get the fastest knockout in UFC history, and you know, against a guy that, you know, there was bad blood going into this fight, and you know, Jorge really didn't like him, and I remember Ben Askren at the stair when they were doing face-offs wanted to know why was he so mad, and you know, but you know, Ben Askren knew why he was upset. I mean, he said that he thinks he could beat him. He knows Jorge Masvidal is going to be very emotional on things like that, and I'm not saying in a bad way. Fighters are emotional. It's just the way they are. But inside, their instinct are to be killers, and Jorge Masvidal has never shied away from a fight, and this one was one that was undeniable. And I think one reporter was trying to say this was a TKO. This was definitely no TKO. Like Dana White said it best, this was a nasty, brutal KO. This was not a TKO. But hats off to Jorge. Ben Askren, who knows what's going to happen for him next. I guess we just got to wait to hear from him to see how he feels. And, but hats off to Jorge. That was an amazing stoppage. Amazing stoppage. So let's go to Luke Rockhold versus Jan Blachowicz. I mean, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but not 100% sure how to pronounce it. And but yeah, I mean, Luke Rockhold pretty much fought the same way he did in middleweight. I mean, there was really nothing that he had really. Like, I mean, he was just coming in there pretty much with the same tools. I think he had the same strength. I mean, his chin is in question now, like I don't think his chin got any better coming to light heavy, but now he's fighting bigger, stronger guys, and Jan got it done. Jan ended up knocking him out, and it pretty much seemed like in similar fashion of all his other knockouts recently in middleweight. And for him having his light heavyweight debut, it just didn't go his way. And I think Dana White said in a backstage interview that, he might, I think he's in modeling, like, he's doing other stuff. And he might want to start thinking about that, that I don't think that this sport is for him anymore. And, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not for him anymore, but you got to kind of say that, I mean, he's not getting any wins and he just keeps getting knockout losses. I mean, when do you call it quits from things like that happening to you? When they keep happening over and over. And, I think back on, when Chuck Liddell was fighting and, after he lost his title, I mean, he got like, 3 or 4 brutal knockouts after that. And, after a while, you just got to hang it up. And I don't know. I would like to see Luke Rockhold just pursue other things. I don't think he's going to go in there and be able to fight anybody in the top 5 or, top 3. I mean, I don't, he's not going to be able to beat any of these guys. I really don't see it. But, I don't want to see Luke Rockhold walk away from the sport, but let's see what's next for him. I mean, I would think it probably would be best if he did pursue other things, but he's a warrior. He's also a former champion. For those that don't know, he was the former middleweight champion. He beat Chris Weidman undecisively, and when he ended up winning the title. And it's just that I don't know. I just think he has a weak chin, and it's very easy to drop him. And for him to come in there with the same chin and fighting these bigger, stronger guys, I mean, Jan just, brutally knocked him out pretty much. And that's pretty much it, Jan got it done. All respect to Luke Rockhold, let's see what happens from here. And, congratulations to Jan Blachowicz. He did a great job, just amazing job on that fight. And we're going to go to the first fight, and the last one here on this video, the first fight of the UFC pay-per-view. And this is, Diego Sanchez versus Michael Chiesa. And this was, it was pretty entertaining. I thought Michael Chiesa was actually going to catch the choke, the rear naked choke on Diego. But Diego is so tough. I mean, Diego has been fighting for so long. He's the season 1 winner of lightweight when he fought on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, he was a season 1 winner, and he is the one and only fighter from that season still fighting and actually still winning. I mean, I know, last night didn't go his way against Michael Chiesa, but it wasn't like he got destroyed. I mean, yeah, it was pretty much one-sided, But I mean, Diego was like slipping out of those submissions and stuff like that. I mean, it was something amazing to see that he still has it. It's like you can still see that he's still hungry for it. And for him to be the one and only fighter from Tough One to still be fighting is just, I mean, it's crazy. Everybody else from that season pursued other things or ended up retiring, from fighting, and he's the one and only of that season that's still getting in the cage and fighting. And I mean, he won his last 2 fights. This one didn't go his way, but I don't think he got destroyed. It was just it just really wasn't a match for Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa was able to get it done. He was much bigger in this fight. And Michael Chiesa said to himself at weigh-ins where he's never going to do 155 again. He feels like it was pure stupidity on his end to actually go to 155. But I think he's a full-size welterweight. He's a full-size 170 contender. And I would like to see him stay at that weight class. I think he looks very good. He said it himself, that, he just feels like, just better. He just feels good, just very happy at this weight class. And, I would really like to see him stay there. I think he did very good against Diego Sanchez, but hats off to Diego Sanchez. All respect in the world for Diego Sanchez. I mean, just a tough guy, high grit. I mean, sometimes I think too tough for his own good, but, we love that, right? I mean, he's just a pure warrior. I mean, just all heart, and hats off to Diego Sanchez. I mean, I don't think he's done yet. I think we're going to see a couple more things from Diego Sanchez, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And as far as Michael Chiesa goes, great job. Congratulations to Michael Chiesa. And let's see if he ends up gonna be in there for title contention soon, hopefully. But hats off to Michael Chiesa, hats off to Diego Sanchez. This card was amazing. This card was great. I was on my feet for most of these fights, for most, things that were going on in these fights. And, I love this card. This card was great. One of the greatest of this year. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. I really want to know what you guys think in the comments of all these fights today. Last night of this UFC. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop a like. And I want to know what all you guys think of this card. And I'll see you in the next one.